Have you ever wondered what it's like visiting London in just 3 days without breaking the bank? I'm going to show you how with the London Pass and my take and experience on this. So let's get started. The first stop is Westminster Abbey on your first day. And the thing with Westminster Abbey is that you have to get there when the Abbey opens. So it's like, I think it opens at 10 o'clock, and you can get there by 11 o'clock. It's not a problem, but um, the earlier the better, because you're going to be there for 3 hours if you want to see everything inside there, because there's a lot to see. And the Abbey closes at 3:30, as uh, that's the last entry. Well, it really closes at 4, but the last entry is at 3:30. So you want to get there as early as possible. So if you get there by 10, 11, 12, 1, that's already 3 hours of your time gone, and it's already lunchtime. And if you get there by say 1, and there's a lot to see in there, and you won't have time to see the rest of the Abbey. They actually rush you out so that they can close the Abbey. So time is of the essence. And with Westminster Abbey and using the London Pass, my experience is that I still had to queue up, even though I had a London Pass. And I think that skipping the queue is a little bit misleading, because you're not skipping the queue for the entrance, you're skipping the queue to buy your ticket. So I've noticed that when I arrived in Westminster Abbey, I had to queue up with the rest of the people, whether you have a London Pass or not. And the queue was long, but I only had to wait 10 minutes. And to be honest, Westminster Abbey's entrance and the kiosk to pay your ticket is the same. So it doesn't really make a difference anyway. I think it just really depends on the attraction. And so, yeah, skipping the queue is skipping the line to buy your ticket at the kiosk, because you already have your ticket on your phone with you, and you just have to get them to scan the QR code or scan your paper ticket. It's not the queue to the entrance, and the entrance can be really long as well. But in my experience, I only had to wait 10 minutes. And once you're there, you're given a audio guide, and the audio guide lets you walk through each item. Let me just adjust my headband. So it's numbered, and also, yes, it's got more than 5 languages in there. So if English isn't your first language, then you can choose French, Spanish, German, even Japanese, those kind of things. So back to what I was saying, the items are numbered. So if you press number 1 on your audio guide, it will tell you what that item is and the background of it. So you're actually standing in front of that item while the audio guide tells you the history and the facts of the item, and you just go in order of the numbers, so you don't get confused and you don't miss anything. But I remember at that time it was already busy, but by 1 o'clock it got busier and cramped, and by 2 o'clock. And yeah, make sure that you come as early as possible, really. So once you're done with Westminster Abbey, it will be already 1 o'clock if you've um, looked at all the items in the Abbey. Um, so you want to have lunch now, 1 to 2, and that's already 10, 11, 12, 13, 4 hours of your time gone. And go to the South Bank because Westminster Abbey is near the South Bank, and you also pass Big Ben and Parliament um, on the way to the South Bank. Let me just take this off because it's really annoying me. So once you've finished Westminster Abbey, you'll see Big Ben and Parliament, and take a few photos in front of there. You'll be stretching your neck up to look at the tower of Big Ben. Um, so take a few photos of Big Ben and Parliament, and stand in Westminster Bridge. Just Google map where Westminster Bridge is. Is not far from Westminster Abbey. So do that for about 5-10 minutes by the bridge. um, and once you're done, walk towards the South Bank near the River Thames, and you'll see the London Eye as well. Um, and the London Eye, I feel, is optional because, to be honest, it's just an icon of London. Um, and from my experience, I don't know about other people's experiences, um, you know, all I could see was Big Ben, Westminster Abbey, and um, what else? The River Thames down below, and people walking really. And there's not much more attractions you can see at the top. That's why it's, a little bit um, of a it's over it's overhyped. I would say London Eye, um, and it's more nicer if you see it like from the outside, and it's 135 meters high, and you can see it from down below the Jubilee Garden where people eat and just relax by the park. Um, so yeah, if you do want to visit the London Eye, the if you don't mind going after Christmas, this is low peak season. The queue is probably 15 to 20 minutes, even though there's a lot of people queuing up compared to if you're queuing in summer. But either way, you're either standing in the cold for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, or you're standing a long time in hot weather, and um, it's not a good, really, it's not a good sight if you're too tired and the sun's in your eyes. But you can use the London Pass, but you have to um, register to get in before you queue up. So you have, because London Night is so popular, especially in summer, I think they've um, divided the queue system. So if you don't have the London Pass, obviously you buy your ticket at the kiosk. But if you do have the London Pass, um, you register, and then um, put your time slot on when you want to get inside, and then you're ready to go. You can't just go in there and then just bag search and then just, scan your QR code. You have to register. And with me, from my experience, there was a little bit of a error on the app. Um, I think it's because when I tried to book my time slot, there were a lot of people booking on at that time at 1:30. So that's how popular it is. But from my experience, if you skip London Eye, going on the London Eye is not a big deal. It's not a big experience um, that you miss. Um, it's, if you miss it, it's fine. But at the moment, it's better to have lunch now because it's already 1 o'clock, and then there's lots of cafes, restaurants. Um, there's a lot of street food by the River Thames, fish and chips, um, and pubs if you want a pint during the day. So spend about an hour for lunch, and by 2 o'clock, you're ready to go. Um, the next attraction I wanted to see was St. Paul's Cathedral, just a few walks away from South Bank. Just go straight on. You'll see Tate Modern um, Museum. That's a free museum. You're free to visit that as well. It's a contemporary art museum, so you get to see 3D art, 2D art, photography. Um, so there's like 2, 3 floors there, but time is of the essence. So you just want to make use of your time. Just make sure you um, know what you want to see. So I went to see St. Paul's Cathedral from Tate Modern. Um, go through the uh, Millennium Bridge, and you'll see St. Paul's Cathedral already there. And whenever I think about St. Paul's Cathedral, I think about Princess Diana and Prince Charles marrying there. Um, and that's the first thing that I think of when I see St. Paul's Cathedral. And from Jubilee, not Jubilee, from Millennium Bridge goes straight on, a bit of a walk still, but it's not far. As soon as you get to St. Paul's Cathedral, you'll see a long queue of people waiting at the front gate. Um, and even if you've already paid for a London pass, you still have to queue up because obviously that's the entrance queue, the long queue. But there's a secret that I'm going to tell you. Um, when I went there, there was a side entrance, which is the accessibility entrance for the disability for people who have disabilities. So there was no one there. If you don't ask, you won't know. And I asked the tour guide for St. Paul's, and I said, "Is this the queue?" And he said, "Yeah, I've got the London pass." And he said, "You still need to queue up though." And then he told me that there's a side entrance there. Just bag check, and then you're ready to go, and then you're in. Um, and there was literally no one there. So ask about the accessibility entrance. And also, there's a park there by St. Paul's Cathedral, which you can just relax before or after. But the thing with St. Paul's Cathedral is that when you grab the audio guide from the entrance, it's not signed and numbered like Westminster Abbey. So it's quite difficult to find the items that the audio guide is talking about. But because you've been walking for 3 hours and you've had lunch, it's nice to sit in like the aisle because once you have your audio guide, you have a lot of like mosaics and paintings on the ceiling of Saint Paul himself and Jesus Christ and his apostles, and you also see the the altar. Just relax there for at least 1 or 2 hours. No, not even 1 or 2 hours actually. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then once that's done, um, then you can go up to the 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 top of St. Paul's Cathedral, and there's like 500 and probably 520 steps to get up there, and you have to be physically fit um, and to reach the top. Um, my experience was that I just rested it at the altar and then just educating myself on the items there. And then I went down to the crypt where I saw the tomb of Nelson Horatio, the colonel, I think, the naval officer back in the day, and there's also like a chapel there. If someone wants to get married, then they're welcome to. And then so after that, I went up the stairs and I wanted to challenge myself. I thought, okay, can I do it? I went upstairs and then I went back downstairs again and then I went upstairs again because I thought if there's like people older than me, the same age as my parents, if they can do it, then I can too because I'm physically fit. But there's also rests in between. So the first rest station is the Whispering Gallery. The Whispering Gallery is like a big circular, uh, I would say, pathway, and it was it's thought that if you put your ear on the wall, and then you have a friend um, whispering on the other side of the gallery, um, parallel to you, then you can actually hear what your friend is saying over there if you put your ear on the wall. But um, I don't know how true that is. I think it's a myth. I saw two ladies doing it and they had a lot of fun doing it, but um, I just think that that's a myth. Um, but it's fun to watch, really. Just stay there for 10, 15 minutes, just contemplating and um, just relax before you head upstairs. And there is a sign there as well to say if you're not fit enough or you're claustrophobic or you have a disability, please don't attempt to use the steps going up to the top of St. Paul's. And then I felt like the higher you go, um, where you reach the top, the more close you are and the more claustrophobic I became because it was like stone steps. And I can imagine it being really cold back in the day. But uh, like I said before, you have like resting stations, like a side bench where you can just relax. And there was a lady like 20 years older than me who said, "Oh, are you okay? Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm fine. I just need to relax." And someone said to me, "You're nearly there, you're nearly there." So um, once you get up though, once you start doing the walk, um, then you can't go back really, unless there's like a station somewhere where you can go back down. But if you really want to challenge yourself um, to go up, then go for it. But going up the steps is a one-way system. I'm not saying that there's no way to go downstairs if you're halfway there, but there's like a different area to go down. So once you go up the stairs, you can't go down from the same staircase again. You just have to wait until there's like a chance for you to go downstairs from a different area. So I managed to go up 522 floors which I was quite proud of myself, to be honest. And when I went back down by, say, 3:30, there were a lot of people attempting to go up. Sorry. And I thought, oh, thank God I've done it. Maybe I'll try again um, the second time, because I wanted to take videos for my vlog, but because my charger, I left my charger at home, I couldn't charge my phone. My phone was dead. Um, I didn't really um, take any videos. So that's that. And then I then thought of taking the hop on and hop off bus. And by this time, when your feet is already aching, you don't really care which route to take. You just want a bus stop that will take you around London. But you have to take the big bus tour, the brown one, if you have the London pass. But if you don't, then you can choose which hop on and hop off bus tours that you want to take. But the London pass is the big bus tour, the brown one. And so there was a bus stop, luckily, outside St. Paul's Cathedral. So I just took that one, and I didn't really care where it took me because my feet were achy. I just wanted to rest my feet and then just listen to the audio guide on the earphones, because you get like a small mobile phone like this, and then they'll tell you a little bit about the attractions that you'll see along the way. Once I felt like I wanted to get off the bus, um, it was already about 5, 6 o'clock, and I thought, okay, shall I just go home now because I've seen 3 attractions altogether. Um, well, no, yeah, 3 attractions: Westminster Abbey, St. Paul's Cathedral, and Hop on, Hop off. And I wouldn't recommend um, seeing more than 4, to be honest, because it's one, they close at around 4, 5, or 6, 5 the latest. Um, and then you just don't have the time anymore um, to visit other attractions because they're already closed. Because if you think about it, each attraction lasts 2 to 3 hours if you want to make time um, for for one attraction. Like the Tower of London takes about 3 hours, but we'll get into more detail about that on day 2. And yeah, so I just thought actually, um, what is it? I thought, why don't I um, have a look at the view of London from the Shard, because they're open in the evening from 5 to late. So I thought, okay, this is the last attraction that I'll take on that day. And as well, like the London Eye, I skipped the London Eye because I just don't think it's worth it. Like the London Eye, you have to register, um, and once you register, you can enter. Make sure you register before you enter because it's such a nuisance having to register at the door, because that was like my experience, that I had to register at the door and then it just takes like 5 minutes to register and then type in your details. So anyway, once you register, you go up the side entrance. Don't go into the main entrance because that's the entrance to the restaurant, not the view of the Shard, because there's like 3 entrances to go to the hotel, the restaurant, and the view of the Shard. So make sure you go to the side entrance where London Bridge Station is, because it's actually linked to London Bridge. So once you get up the stairs, and then you do bag check and then scan your QR code at the reception, you're good to go. And then it's dark in there, and then there's interactive videos, like on the wall there's like interactive photos and videos of London, which is quite cool. And then um, the queue isn't really that long. You're taken to the lift um, with like 10 other people. Sorry. And then there's like an interactive photo as well, um, on on top of the on top of the lift, which is quite cool as well. And then you go onto another lift the second time round, and then finally you arrive at the the scene of London. Um, it's really nice actually, because I went in the evening. I think that it's better to go in the evening, to be honest. The view is better, and there's also like a nice posh bar where you can have champagne and just have little bits and bobs of nibbles, um, while you look at the view. But it's really expensive, to be honest. Like, most people know that the Shard is quite expensive. Um, so I spent about 10 minutes just to take photos. Once you've seen the view of the River Thames, which is what catches your eyes first. Any attraction that you go to by the South Bank, the River Thames is what catches your eyes first, and it's not any different with the Shard. So you'll see the view of the River Thames. I've got a blog post about that, so you can see photos of my time there. And then once I took a few photos to say that I was there, and I just went home because my feet was aching me. And that's it really. So there's 3 attractions that you can see in one day with the London Pass, or not with the London Pass. If you don't have the London Pass, then um, you'll be paying more. I think the London Pass gives you discounts on attractions, but like I said before, skip the line or skip the queue is often misleading, because the entrance queue is still really long. You're basically skipping the line to buy tickets, because you already bought the ticket online through the London Pass app. So I think it's because London attractions are so popular that they need to organize it very well. You know, the entrance to the attraction, the line to buy the ticket, and then time slots as well. So that's actually what people think about when they're um, visiting attractions. It's the queue long. It's the queue long. That's all I hit when people talk about wanting to see attractions in London. Really. So yeah, I think the London Pass is worth it. So I'm actually an an affiliate for the London Pass. So I'll link it down below to get the code. So if you get the London Pass, you get a discount. But if you book through me, I get commission from them, and you get more discount, at least 5%. And if there's a promotion on their website, that there's more discount for you there. So yeah, so if you like my video, please comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll speak to you in another part of um, 3 days in London, day 2, and I'll cover the Tower of London, and everything else in between. Okay, then I'll see you soon. Bye.